Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, my dear students. I welcome you all to Fazaya schools and colleges. This is the science lecture for grade 2, and today we are studying about living and non-living things. Talking about living things, do you know what are living things? There are some examples shown in the figure like boy, monkey, fish, tree. How can we say the thing is a living thing or a non-living thing? For example, if I say the boy is a living thing. But why? Because living things can eat food, they can grow, they can breathe, and they can have babies. And non-living things, as we know, non-living things do not eat food, they do not grow, they do not breathe, and they do not have babies. The examples of non-living things are a ball, car, a clock, and a book. So, what are the characteristics of living things? Actually, there are 5 main characteristics of living thing. First one is food and water. Second one is they can breathe. Third one is they can move. Fourth one is they can grow and they can produce youngs. So these are the 5 main characteristics of living thing. All the living things, they may be humans, they may be plants, or they may be animals. They all possess the 5 main characteristics of living things. But if we talk about plants, we know that they cannot move from one place to another. They cannot change their position, like as animals move and humans walk. They cannot walk or move. But we know that they are living because they possess all the characteristics of living things except locomotion. So the main characteristics of living things is number 1, they need food and water to grow. Number 2, they can breathe. Number 3 is they can grow. Number 4 is they can move. And number 5, they can produce their youngs. As we know that living things need food, water, air, and sunlight. These are the 4 basic necessities of living things. Animals, plants, and humans all need food, water, air, and sunlight. Also, humans need clothes to live. Like it is also the necessity of humans, and they also need the shelter. As we talked about, living things need food and water. So the food of all living things is different. For example, humans eat vegetables and fruits. They can also have meat and chicken. They can also have eggs or milk and something like that. And whereas plants need water to grow, some animals like goats, they eat plants, and some sparrows or birds, they eat small grains. Now someone may ask why we need to eat food, why we need to have food. Animals need food because it gives them energy. And why do we need energy? Energy is needed to do variety of work. मुख्तलिफ़ काम करने के लिए, चलने के लिए, एक जगह से दूसरी जगह जाने के लिए हमें एनर्जी की ज़रूरत होती है. लाइक हमें अगर हम नहीं भी कोई काम करें ना, फिर भी हमारे जो लाइफ प्रोसेसेस हैं, लाइक आवर हार्ट इज़ pumping blood to all the body, तो for that we also need energy. तो internal processes के लिए भी energy की ज़रूरत होती है. Living things can move. We have studied earlier also that birds fly, humans walk, and they can jump, they can walk, they can run. Some animals, they can fish, some animals crawl, some animals walk, some animals run. So living things can move. But talking about plants, they cannot change their position of location. जहाँ पे वो होते हैं वहाँ से वो move नहीं करते, but they can grow. We see a small seed becomes a new plant, a, a tree or a tree. They also breathe, or you can say they respire. What do you mean by breathing? It means the living things can exchange gases with their environment. Animals take in oxygen and breathe out carbon dioxide gas. Okay? Where do we take this oxygen? We get oxygen from plants. Likewise, fish. Fish also take in oxygen from the water, and this oxygen is absorbed into the blood vessels through the gills, and carbon dioxide gas is removed from the vessels through the gills. So, in this way, the gaseous exchange is also possible in fish. If we talk about plants do not take in oxygen. Instead, they take in carbon dioxide gas and expels out or excretes out oxygen, and that oxygen is used by other animals and also the humans, and it is very much important to live. And this gaseous exchange take place through a small opening that is known as stomata. In the picture you can see a closed stroma and an open stroma. Stroma is a singular of a opening, and if there are many stromas, then it will be the plural will be stomata. Living things can reproduce. As I told you earlier, that they can produce their youngs, so they can reproduce. For example, a mango tree gives us a fruit that has seed inside it, and if we sow that seed into the soil, after some time we will see a small plant will grow, and then it will become a new plant and new tree, and that will produce more fruits, and they will have more seeds in them, and then this cycle keeps on continuing. For example, a hen, or you can say a chicken. As we know, a chicken lays egg, and after 3 weeks the eggs then becomes a chick, and the chick then develops into 3 months into a complete chicken. और जैसे हम लोग जानते हैं कि जब हम छोटे होते हैं तो हम छोटे से बेबी होते हैं, एंड आफ्टर सम टाइम हम थोड़े से बड़े होते हैं, एंड देन वी गेट मैच्योर, एंड हम आहिस्ता आहिस्ता यंग होते हैं, एंड देन फिर हम ओल्ड एज में चले जाते हैं, एंड आफ्टर दैट वी डाई. इसी तरह यू कैन सी द साइज ऑफ लिविंग थिंग चेंजेस फ्रॉम as time goes by. For example, if we talk about humans, there is a baby, and then it will become an adult, and then it will become a mature one, a young lady, and after that it will be uh, an old lady, and then at the end she will die. Likewise animal and likewise plant, you can see the size also increases. The growth of the animal can be visible. For example, we see and we can feel the change in the size. Okay, all living things, for example, the four main stages of all living things, if we talk about especially of people, they are born, then they grow, then they reproduce, and after that they die. Likewise plants, they are born, they are grow, and then they reproduce, and after that they die. Just like animals, they are also born, they grow, they reproduce, and they die. Living things change during their lives. As you can see, the eggs can turn into a swan, the seeds can become a plant or a tree, and the tadpole turns into a frog. Here you can see an egg can turn into a swan, a tadpole turns into a frog, and some seeds turn into a tree. So, what's your homework now? This was the end of our lecture. Today, we have learned about the main characteristics of living organisms and we have studied the five main characteristics of living things. And your homework is that you have to enlist the five characteristics of living things that makes them different from non living things. I hope you enjoyed today's lecture and we will meet inshallah with a new lecture tomorrow. Till then, take care. Allah Hafiz.